Rebecca with Invest West Management. Today we're going to chat a little bit about having a traditional lease versus a month-to-month lease. At Invest West Management, we manage single-family homes, condos, duplexes, and apartments in Clark and Cowlitz counties and throughout the Portland metro area. We also manage homeowners associations throughout Oregon and Washington. Today I'm here with Kelly, one of our property managers. She has been in the business for many years, and just chatting a little bit about, as an owner, whether you would benefit more or what might be the pros and cons of having a traditional lease versus a month-to-month lease. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
As an owner, how might I benefit from having a one-year lease versus a month-to-month lease?
Having a month-to-month lease leaves your options open if you are afraid that this tenant isn't going to follow through with the terms of living there. It gives you the flexibility, but then it also gives the tenant the flexibility that they can move at any time with not so much notice to get a turn going on. A 12-month lease or a long-term lease is probably the most advantageous if you have run your background check, this tenant is going to be a good fit, and you can plan year to year on your expenses with the property, rent increases, and keeping your vacancy to a minimum.
So if I'm an owner, typically do you ask your clients kind of what their purpose is with the investment and what their financial situation is, so that you can help them determine what lease might be a better fit for them?
Yes. Depending on if the owner is highly involved with the property, is an out-of-town owner, are they tight with their cash flow? Some of those things will play into whether they decide that they want to go to a month-to-month or a lease.
And I can imagine perhaps that a month-to-month lease might be beneficial if they were perhaps intending to sell the property
Exactly.
In the near future. Then they're
Exactly.
not tied in. What happens if you have a 12-month lease, but then as an owner I decide I have to move back in, or I have to sell the house? How do you handle that with a tenant if we've signed the 12-month lease but my plans have changed? Is there anything that can be done?
There are things that can be done. Everything's negotiable. The tenant does have the right to stay for the term of that lease. However, there are times when an owner does have to move back in, and they have me negotiate with the tenant and themselves to make it work for everybody. Give an incentive for the tenant to move out early. The management company can help them find another place to live so that this owner can come back in.
So that's one benefit with the management company, is that you may have resources to help that tenant
Absolutely.
easily move into another property.
Yes.
And allow the owner to be able to have the flexibility to be able to get back into the house
Yes.
if they needed to, or perhaps list it for sale if that was what the circumstances were involved.
Right.
That's excellent. Any other thoughts in terms of month-to-month leases? Are you seeing a lot of tenants requesting short-term leases in this market, or are they asking for longer-term leases?
Most tenants want the stability of a lease, and they don't want to see their rents being raised often. That is definitely a risk when a tenant is on a month-to-month, and landlord has the opportunity to raise the rent with 30 days notice, or with whatever the state requires your notice to be. Most tenants prefer, I can't say most tenants. Some folks are going to be preparing themselves to buy a house. So
they may benefit more from a shorter term lease.
True.
But you'd say perhaps the majority of tenants that you're seeing right now in our market are liking to have the option for a longer term
Yes.
lease.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on this topic. We really appreciate that. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us anytime.